Hey, this is Alan Yip. Welcome back. Today I want to share a very powerful reading technique with you. And first of all, in order to get good results in your studies, you've got to learn to read efficiently and effectively. And suppose you're about to read a new topic or chapter, let's say biology in A level, and you're going to read about DNA, or you're studying physics, let's say electromagnetism, okay, for IGCSE, and you're about to read a new unit or chapter. Usually, how do you start reading it? Normally, for students, they just start reading top down, page by page, right? Is that how you've been doing? If you have been doing that, well, try out this new method, and it's called SQ4R. What is it called? SQ4R is an acronym. Every letter stands for a particular step. Okay, of course, SQ doesn't stand for a flight number from Singapore Airlines. Okay, and I'm sharing this with you, and I hope you remember this funny aspect. It sounds like the flight number SQ, and S stands for scan. Q for what? Question. And now there are four straightforward steps: read, recite, review, and relate. So let's jump in. First of all, before you starting the whole chapter, I'd like for you to gain a bird's eye view of what this chapter is about. It's almost like going on a mental journey from point A, the beginning of the chapter, to point B, the end of the chapter, just to get a feel for the content or how many pages in this chapter. Always go to the back first, and normally for academic reading, there's a summary or there's a revision checklist and even a concept map. So go ahead and read that first, because that is the most important concept or the essence of this particular chapter. So it's a smart idea to gain a bird's eye view. After you have done that, now go back to the very beginning and scan. Okay, scan page by page and read the headings, subheadings, the bolded wordings, any diagrams or maps or charts. The point is just go fast, and it should not take a long time, okay? And plus the second step, question. When you scan, you want to question at the same time, and if possible, turn the heading into a question. And this is a very powerful concept, and I'll elaborate on that in just a minute. But if you're coming across a heading, just ask, what is that all about? How does respiration work? Or what are the products released from digestion? Or which enzyme, right, can digest this particular chemical? So you want to turn the heading into a question, because you are now engaging your mind actively. And that is a very crucial aspect to what we call deep learning or optimal understanding. Now, the scan and the question step should take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for a unit or chapter. After you have done these two steps, now go ahead, go back. And by the way, let me just step back first, okay? Question here, why do we question? Is to post a fishing hook. So later on in your subconscious mind, you have all those questions planted. And therefore, as you start reading, now you're fishing for the actual information. So that is a really good idea. And in terms of question, you've seen this before: who, what, where, when, why, how. So ask questions. And same thing in class, ask good questions. And there's one more question, that is what if. And especially when you study, for example, business studies, and you can ask, what if we increase the inflation rate? What will happen to the economy? Now, let's jump in. First step in terms of the 4 R's is read. When you start reading, now normally students read very slowly because they think when they read slowly, they can understand more deeply. That is not true. Actually, what you read is you want to read a little bit quicker. I'm not talking about speed reading. You just want to read and pick up the pace a bit quicker, because your job is to gain an overall understanding of this unit. Do not read to memorize, read to understand. If there's something you don't understand, use a pencil and write at the margin next to that sentence or paragraph. Just, for example, write a question mark. And a lot of students, they use highlighters. Okay, of course, if they own the books, they use highlighters and they start and before they know it, that chapter looks like a Picasso artwork. And what is the problem? The problem is you didn't write the chapter. You don't actually know what is the most important concept or point. So I suggest you use a pencil first and you just go faster. And make sure you go over, for example, the examples. And the examples are just elaboration. So you don't need to really dive deeply into the examples. Instead, you just go over first the concepts. Now, this particular step of reading should take only about 15 minutes. Okay, and once again, I'm talking about the smart study schedule in terms of the study duration being 25 minutes. And I'll make another video on smart learning. Okay, but for now, reading should be about only 15 minutes. It doesn't mean you finish the whole chapter in 15 minutes. Instead, when you have read for 15 minutes, stop. Use a post-it note and just mark where you stop. Now, close the book. And of course, when you are in your room, you can recite and recite the key points out loud. That means, hey, what is the process of digestion like, for example? Now you just call out the key points. Why is this important? Because it will improve your auditory memory. That means through hearing, you are now registering the information one more time. If you find yourself attracted to charts or diagrams or mind maps, if you need to move around as well, you can very quickly write down the key points on paper. Okay, and this is a part of reciting. Now, if you forget something, it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot one particular factor or one step in the process. No problem. Go back to the chapter and now review. Oh, that's the point I missed. And usually for academic reading in subjects like psychology or biology and law, economics, business studies, they are heavy duty. So it usually requires the second round or even third round of reading. And finally, after you have done the previous steps, now you want to apply, and the step is called relate. Now you want to relate the information you just learned to real life. Let's say you just study digestion. Now you think about when you eat food, how the food is being digested. That's how you relate to an actual example. Or you can relate back to what the teachers talk about in that particular class. And when you follow this SQ4R methodology, you will find yourself starting to read more efficiently and to start understanding more deeply. So please try it out. If you find this video useful, please share the video with other people who can also benefit, your friends and family members. And with that, thank you so much for watching.